Drivin Ivan here with two cars that I just imported from Italy, the Fiat Barchetta and the MGF. I'm going to drive both of them. I'm going to compare them, and I'm going to tell you which one I think is the best and also their strengths and weaknesses. I'll also be doing videos on how to import these cars from Europe. One of them's already out there, but I'll be doing a review of the MGF as well, and also an import video on how to import that one too. So smash that like button and subscribe, and search any car in Drivin Ivan. But let's get started with this comparison of the MGF versus the Fiat Barchetta. Well, the first part of the comparison is really with just pure aesthetics. It's really down to a matter of preference. What do you like? Do you like the clean Italian lines of this Fiat Barchetta? It's a little bit stubby-nosed, but I think it's absolutely beautiful. And of course I love the color. That has to do with it too. Most of my cars are blue if I get to choose them, but these wheels, the stock wheels, they just look incredible to my eye. I love them. And things like the door latch, look at that. You press, pops out. I mean, you know, that's Italian flair. And it's everywhere on this Fiat Barchetta. I don't really think there's a bad angle on the car at all. Of course, some problems with the clear coat with this one, but I was more concerned about it running and driving great, and that it does, but more on that later, of course. But yeah, really every angle on the Barchetta, I think it just looks absolutely fantastic. Now let's move on to the MGF. Well, the Barchetta's front engine, front wheel drive. This one is mid-engined, rear wheel drive, so the shape is a little different, but still very, very cool shape on this one. Which one do you like better? Let me know in the comments. Smash that like button and subscribe if you haven't. Just like the wheels on the Barchetta, well, this one's got some pretty cool looking wheels too. I like the way they look. The luggage rack on back, that's pretty cool. These, you know, the British flag, the Union Jack, and the checkered flag there is pretty cool. Yeah, I kept my tags from Europe on there, so that's really cool. There you go, front end comparison for you. But got some cooling up there with the little grill, and just awesome looking car in terms of the color, you know, British racing green. I mean, isn't that what you want on your MGF? I think so. Again, really every angle on this MGF looks very, very cool, and they're both two-seat convertibles, but really both of them are a bit different in execution as well. So to me, I don't know. It's really tough to pick a favorite. What do you guys think? As I asked, let me know in the comments. But man, you know, I've spent a lot of time with the MGF already, driving it all over Europe on the Nürburgring. Check out that video, very cool. 2 laps on the Nürburgring that you can see on YouTube. But I've also driven this Fiat Barchetta a lot since I've had it in the US longer. And, you know, I'm attached to both of them. I think they're both super cool. They're super rare in America. You never have to see another one. You get wild looks from people that, you know, what is it? I mean, I hadn't been off the port 6 minutes in this, and people were like, some guy just like, what is that? And, you know, they definitely are exclusive in America. You can drive them to a car show and nobody knows what it is, or if they do, they've certainly never seen one. So I love that. But yeah, they're both very, very cool. And I don't know. You know what? I love them both. So there you have it. Now, and of course, the MGF looks great, either top up or top down. Okay, time to compare interiors, and like I said, that's a really cool door handle, huh? But there you go, 2 seats, and really just everything you need and nothing you don't. No glove box if you opt for the optional airbag. The radio's there, but I haven't installed it yet. Vent, but not really air conditioning in this one. You can see no cup holder either. That's where I put a bottle of water if I want it. Little space behind the seat there, only because I'm kind of short. But that's how you go ahead and close the top. Really nice. And very, very, very trim-lined in this one. Not so as much in the MGF, but the seats are supportive and comfortable. And I love the body color across the door panels, and you do get a little storage there in the door with this one, but the white gauges are very, very nice. Only those you need, you know, nice large tachometer, basically temperature and fuel gauge as well. Of course, speedometer too, which is only in kilometers. Little storage there. Inside here, you have your charger and that sort of thing. Real handbrake, which is nice. 5-speed manual. Both of the cars are 5-speed manual. Okay, so there you go. Nicely executed Italian interior for the Fiat Barchetta onto the MGF here. And again, very basic. They're both from the same era, mid-late 90s, so you know, you can expect similar interiors. Leather seats in this one. Does have an exclusive limited edition of 2000 MGF badge. I'm not sure it's actually one of those. I think they just might have put that in, installed it later. Also an airbag on this side, but you do get a glove box, which is nice. And radio does work in this one, I believe. And same thing, no real air conditioning, but good ventilation and power windows. Yes, power windows in both of them. There's your charger there and a little bit of storage underneath there. The MGF has your coolant gauge, big tachometer, speedometer, and also, of course, your fuel gauge. So very basic. Steering wheel is nice and tiny, feels great in your hands, even has cool horn buttons. I'm not sure if this is a stock shifter, but I love it. It's kind of heavy and weighted and just has a really good feel to it. I think with the leather seats, the MGF probably gets the nod for being a bit more luxurious, but I think the Barchetta's interior might just be a bit more stylish. Let me know what you think in the comments. Smash that like button and subscribe too. Things get a bit more interesting when you go to open the MGF's trunk, because of course you have the engine back here. And of course you can remove this grate and you can slide these over here. This is where you add your coolant and your oil, dipstick there too. So it's actually pretty accessible, which is nice. But in terms of storage, well, pretty decent storage. Again, my disc golf discs are back here. The obligatory German safety equipment. And this is kind of interesting over here on the right side. This is what you pull to actually open the front trunk on this one. So yes, the MGF has 2 trunks. Well, to be fair, there's not a lot of usable space up here, but yeah, you have access to your horns and your battery, and so there you go. Still a frunk in a sense, but yeah, not too much space there. But you know, if you're traveling, believe me, you can fit a lot of stuff in here. And with the regular trunk, I was able to fit my backpack and my suitcase in the regular trunk. So this was a pretty good travel companion around Europe. Powering the MGF is a 1.8 liter normally aspirated engine. Also comes in variable valve timing version, but you get about 118 horsepower versus 143 horsepower for the variable valve timing. That's good for a 0 to 60 of 7.4 or so with the variable valve timing, and about 8 and change if you don't have it. Torque is about 127, so it's a pretty torquey engine and feels quicker than it is, certainly. Top speed is 128 miles per hour, and you can expect 30 miles per gallon overall, and that's certainly true. I got right around 30 many times, maybe even a little bit better. So pretty good driving companion in and around Europe. Well, these 2 engines between the Barchetta and the MGF are quite similar. 1.8 liter. This one does have variable valve timing at 130 Horsepower, 129 pound-feet of torque. Top speed, 124 miles an hour, so almost identical, 0 to 60 in the 8s. Also, really similar in terms of specs. Upper 20s in MPGs, and this one 27, so very similar there too. Of course, with the front engine, front wheel drive layout, that's where the differences really begin, and that's what I will talk about when I compare the handling of these two cars. But very similar, and they both weigh about 2,300 pounds and change, so they're really light by today's standards. Very docile and very fun to drive, but completely different execution. So this is going to be interesting. Let's get behind the wheel of these and see what I think. Smash that like button and subscribe. Let's go. Okay, so getting right into it, these are two really different cars, but I love each one of them. This one, having traveled so far in it already, licensed it, drove it around Germany, Brussels, Belgium, Paris. So you really develop a bond with the car when you're having such a great experience with it. And it was a really great experience driving this MGF around Europe. Now, that being said, one of the drawbacks of the MGF is the fact that, well, I think it's a bit more finicky, believe it or not, than the Fiat Barchetta. I've had no issues with the Fiat Barchetta whatsoever. And this one, well, if you sit in traffic or if you get into a situation where you have to idle a bit, it can overheat a bit. And so that's why I keep a little coolant in the back there just to be safe. But I would call it, in terms of reliability, for the Fiat Barchetta. That being said, which one's the more pure sports car? Well, this one's mid-engine and rear-wheel drive, so you have to give this one the nod because, well, you know, you can steer it with the throttle. I mean, you can still steer a front-wheel drive, front-engine car with the throttle too, lift off, oversteer, and things like that around turns. And the Fiat with the Bilstein shocks is really fun to drive. So don't get me wrong, it's an amazing sports car, but this is the more pure sports car. I drove it on the Nürburgring, handled beautifully, got a little bit of oversteer on a wet road in France. That was kind of fun. And you know, this thing will drift, but you know, it doesn't have a whole heck of a lot of power to be pushing out the back end or anything like that, but you certainly can. And it's very predictable, and somehow it just really walks the balance of comfort and sport just so amazingly well. This is where you want to be in the MGF. You want to be out in the country driving the twisties, and it really does provide good feedback. You can induce some oversteer, but really at all times you know what your front wheels are doing and you know what the back wheels are doing too. It's a very balanced car. And you know, here in America, MR2 maybe the Porsche Boxster, and not really too much else compares to it. The Boxster is more expensive, you know, to start with. Used prices, that all depends really, but yeah, this one is so unique. I never have to see another one here, and a lot of them that made it to America are actually right-hand drive. I don't know why you'd want to import this car when it's available in left-hand drive like I have it. The proper way to drive here in America. A JDM car, sure, if it only comes in right-hand drive, yeah, you want your Skyline GTRs and things like that. But to me, the way to import this one is absolutely to have it be left-hand drive. That crazy noise you hear is my license plate there strapped to the luggage rack. I'll have to remedy that situation. But despite that, you can carry a conversation on at high speed. I've got the windows up, sure, but it's also, you know, it's a little bouncy. When you hit the bumps, it's actually sprung tight enough, but not super tight. This is a very comfortable car. I mean, I don't know where they were going for sports car or Grand Tourer, but it's got both personalities really, and that's one reason I like it. And with the Fiat Barchetta, you really have two totally different personalities in these cars. That one is not quite as comfortable, I would say, but it's more easy to drive. It's kind of less quirky, and believe it or not, I think it's more reliable as well, even though that one's Italian and this one's British. These have a tendency to have head gasket issues. This one's been addressed, I was told, so that's a good thing. But you know, if this one sits in traffic a really long time, it doesn't like it. And the Italian car, Fiat Barchetta, well, it doesn't seem to mind really. Temperature does rise in it, but it doesn't really ever get to the point where you think it might overheat. Like this one occasionally will, if you're in traffic or just letting it idle. There you go. There's one mark towards the Fiat Barchetta as compared to this MGF here. You know, I actually bought 3 cars in Europe, and I was planning on selling maybe 2 of them, but I was going to decide which one of these convertibles I wanted to keep and which one I wanted to sell. But I really, really love both of them. You know, I bonded with the MGF, but I don't know. The Fiat Barchetta is very, very fun to drive. And, you know, I have a lot of British cars. I have a Austin Healey Sprite. I have a Lotus Europa, a Lotus Esprit, and also the MG Midget, Opel Ascona as well. So yeah, you know, I have a lot of British cars, and British cars are great, but I also have a lot of Italian cars. Maserati Spider and Lancia Delta Integrale among my Italian car collection. So I love Italian cars too. Oh man, they're just so different, but both so fun to drive, and they have so much character too. It's almost like choosing between 2 children. No, cars are not real to me. And no, I don't really name cars except for my pink Citroen Wagon, which I call the Barbie Dream Wagon. Check that one out elsewhere on YouTube. But it is a tough decision. And I don't know. If one of you would like to purchase one of these cars, gave me maybe really the right money, I might sell one of them. But I really, really do love both of them. They both bring certain things to you, and they're both, as I said, really rare, and you never have to see another one at a car show, and I love that. So, man, check out my videos for how to import these cars. 3 different videos because it's 3 different scenarios on how to import a car. This one I'm going to include how to license a car in Europe and drive it around. So that will be really, really cool. Check that out. Search any car in Drivin Ivan. Watch my laps on the Nürburgring in this one. But again, as I said, it's too tough a decision to make. This one, the MGF, is probably the more pure sports car, and the Fiat Barchetta, well, it's got that Italian style, and I think more reliability. So, man, really, really tough decision. They're so similar in performance numbers. It just makes it so hard. They're both just so cool. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. And again, thank you so much for watching. Search any car in Drivin Ivan. I am Drivin Ivan.